Namaste. The term geography is derived from the word roots geo meaning earth and graphene which means to write. So geography is essentially the discipline of writing about the earth or describing the earth. Now, why do we have to describe the earth? We have to describe the earth because the earth is non-uniform. So different locations on the earth will have different features, they will have different phenomena. So for example, there will be certain locations that have mountains, certain other locations that have oceans, yet certain other locations that have, say, rivers or lakes or deserts. Now, geography is concerned about writing about all of these things. It essentially asks three questions. What are the different features that are found on this planet? So the first question is what? What is found? Things like mountains or hills or deserts or plains and so on. The second question that it asks is where are these found? So which are the locations on the planet where we have mountains? Where do we have the deserts? And so on. And the third question that it asks is why? Or how did we come to a situation where these features are found in these locations? How did they come into being? Why are they there? So in this case, we can ask the question that if we are talking about the Himalayas, why do we have the Himalayas to the north of India? Did we always have the Himalayas here? Or the Himalayas were formed some time back? When were they formed? What are the processes because of which they were formed? So essentially, geography, by asking these questions of what features are there, where are they, and why are they where they are, it does talk about areal differentiation. That is, we are trying to differentiate one area on the planet from another area. Now, geography is interesting per se, but it also has a large number of economic ramifications. Now, this is because a large number of economic decisions are also based on these differences in different areas. For example, if you have to set up, say, a mine, you are interested in mining for iron ores. In that case, you can only set up the mine where the iron ore is found. So again, the question would be, where is iron ore found on this planet? Now, to do a screening for these locations, it also helps to understand why is iron ore found in a certain location and not in all the locations. So here we are observing that geography provides inputs for economic decision making. Similarly, if you want to set up an industry, you would probably want to set it up in a location that has good modes of transport and communication. It would be very good if you have a port nearby or if you have a good railway junction nearby. Now, what are those locations where we have the ports, where we have the railway lines? Similarly, for the industry, you would want to have a supply of labor, probably technical labor, qualified labor. So, what are the locations where you have technically competent people that are found? What is the level of literacy? What is the level of education of people in different locations? Now, when we are asking these questions, we are looking at the inputs from geography into economics. Now, geography also is important from the point of view of conservation because these same phenomena also play a role in deciding which organisms are found where. So, for example, if you consider an animal such as the camel will not be found everywhere. The camel is found in the deserts. So, it is localized to the deserts. If you talk about polar bears, they are localized in the polar areas. If you talk about dolphins, they are localized in the water bodies. And so, when we look at the arrangement or the distribution of different species on this planet, we will also come to the same conclusion that yes, there is a certain amount of differentiation in the levels of biodiversity in different locations of the earth. There are certain locations that have a very high amount of biodiversity, and there are certain other locations that do not have a very high amount of biodiversity. Now, these questions become important because today a large number of economic decisions are also playing a havoc towards biodiversity. So, if through the process of geographical thinking you come to the conclusion that okay, this iron ore is found in such and such location, which also happens to be a very good biodiversity hotspot, or a location that has a very high amount of biodiversity, it has a large number of endemic species, a large number of threatened species. In such situations, would you go ahead and construct a mine and obliterate all the biodiversity or not? So, economics and conservation both are based on this foundation of geography. And in this course, we are going to explore these connections. We'll look at a large number of case studies to understand how geography provides inputs for economic decision making and also for conservation decision making, so that we can reach to a point where we can have development and conservation both together.